Welcome. Every time I click the little button, I feel like saying action. It's just what I think. Sorry. I was saying good morning because it's morning for me. However, y'all could not be watching this in the morning, and that's okay. So I'm learning to say something different. But welcome. I don't have a lot of time this morning because I do have a very busy day, which I'm really excited about. I have my first client today to teach my class to. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I want to learn. By doing this, I'm going to learn just as much from y'all as y'all are going to learn from me. And, that's the point of this, right? So today I'm going to talk about steps. I'm going to label this baby steps, I think, because there is an order to doing things, right? I talked yesterday about time, and I noticed how many times I said the word time yesterday. It was a lot. Because I spoke about time, then my brain focused on time, right? And getting back to the baby steps, that's what this is all about, is how can you start to change your behaviors if you don't even know what your behaviors are to begin with, right? The example I'm going to use mostly is cooking today, just because I think everyone can relate to cooking, right? For the most part, all of us have made pasta. So I'm going to use that as the prime example, right? You could break this down with anything, but the end result is that you want to eat spaghetti for dinner, or macaroni and cheese, or just pasta with some butter, whatever it is, right? You could go to the store, buy a box of pasta, bring it home, dump it on a plate. I don't think it would taste so good though, right? The first step you need to do is go to the store and buy the pasta. If you don't go to the store, what good is it turning on the water in the pot? You don't have the pasta, right? So this is what I want to focus on today, is that before you can start to make any of these changes in your life, you need to prioritize on what changes you want to make, right? So before you can even begin to understand balance, you need to understand what it is that you want to balance. There are so many different aspects of life. There's financial, there's mental, there's physical, there's, intellectual. I don't have my notes right in front of me because they're all in the car because I'm going to head out as soon as I'm done with this. But those are just a few of them, right? And they all impact each other, just like all the parts of our body work together, right? We have a brain, and we have a heart, and we have the parts, and we have the blood, and we have the muscles, and we have all of these things. And without each other, the other ones can't work as well. The workshop that I created has to do with our five senses. And a lot of times we don't utilize them very often. We just go throughout our day and we don't really think about it. We don't pay attention to what we smell. We don't pay attention to what we taste. We don't pay attention to what we touch or see. We just use them. We have been taught from a very small age that these are just things in our body that we use to gather information. So before you can start to make huge changes in your life and find the balance to your life, you first have to figure out what your life is or where you want your life to go before you can change anything, right? So back to the pasta. You first need to go to the store, buy the pasta. Then you come home or you go to a friend's house or wherever you are going, and you need a pot and you need some water to boil the water in. In my other videos, I've talked about the pressure, how things in our life need to heat up in order to change us. There are going to be things in your life that are going to heat up. You are going to have conflict with your boss. You are going to have conflict driving down the street. And me, myself, I hate conflict. I avoid it like the plague. I used to be a people pleaser. That's what I knew. If I pleased everybody else, then there was no conflict, and then I wouldn't have to deal with it. Even good conflict. Even getting called into the principal's office to get an award. I would freak out about why are they calling me to the principal's office, right? But that's what makes us grow. Without those struggles, without those hardships, without that conflict, you don't grow. You don't get stronger. You don't hear that you have an award coming and that someone is proud of you for your hard work. You don't get any of those things. And that is why we are all faced with conflict, right? There are some conflicts that we have to deal with that we don't want to, and it's because of something in the past. And then there's conflict that we want to deal with because we want to set a boundary. We want to stand up for ourselves and we want to make changes. In order to make all of these changes, you first have to realize what changes you want to make, right? Is it physical? Do you want to have a better diet? Do you want to work out more? Is it mental? Are you lacking emotion in your life? Are you lacking empathy and compassion? Can you not get angry? For a long time, I could not get angry. It made me angry that I couldn't get angry. I would be in situations and I would just sit there and be like, okay. When I really should have told the person how I felt. That doesn't mean I had to hit them and swear at them and call them out or whatever, but I just had to acknowledge the fact that they were making me angry and voice that. But learning all these things is what I avoided in the first place because I didn't want to deal with it. And by not dealing with it, I didn't learn how to do these things, which I'm doing now. I don't know. I get very distracted. See, I don't have my notes to refer back to this morning, so I just learned a lesson this morning. Make sure you have your notes with you. Be prepared, right? Which is what I'm telling y'all. Be prepared to make these changes, right? Go to the store and buy the pasta before you boil the pot of water. So my biggest thing that I wanted y'all to get out of this morning is just, I'm going to give y'all a few different coping mechanisms. These are things that I've learned throughout the years. Like I said, I've been in therapy for longer than I can even remember, honestly. And my hope is to start being the one that's talking and having someone else listening. Instead of listening and having someone else talk to me and teach me all these things. That's all I'm doing. I'm just changing the cycle, right? So, a few things that you can do when you come into conflict. The biggest thing I am teaching my girls is that you cannot force other people to do things. You just can't. It sucks. It's hard. We want to, but we can't. You know, I see my two girls and they love to drive each other nuts on purpose. They love to get reactions out of each other, whether positive or negative, right? So the other morning, the littlest one was singing, and it was driving the other one nuts, right? She kept yelling at her. She goes, "Stop singing!" And I go, "Baby, you cannot control whether she sings or not. You just can't. The more you tell her to stop singing, the more she's gonna sing. But what she can do is she can walk away. She can put headphones on. She could go into the other room and listen to the TV instead. Those are all the things that she can control. She cannot control what her sister does, right? As much as we want to control other people, we cannot. And that is the first part of figuring it out. That's the first step. That's the going to the store and buying the pasta. You cannot control other people. You just can't. But you can control what you do about it. You can control your reactions. And the biggest coping mechanism that I would like to share with y'all, again, I didn't create these. I didn't come up with these. I just have been taught them over the years, and I'm going to share with y'all what works and what doesn't work for me. But what works for me, again, may not work for you, and that's why I'm going to give you a couple different choices. And I love your insight. I'd love to hear, or please comment what ones work for you. Because maybe I could learn something from you too. Or someone else watching this video may have a different idea. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do, right? But the biggest one, I think, is walk away. Just walk away. If there is something in your life that you cannot control, but it is driving you nuts, right? Back to my scenario of the kids singing, walk away. If you walk away, they no longer have that control over you. That's amazing, right? We give people control over us. That's a great concept. Just saying that coming out of my mouth, I think about so many different things. We accept the love we feel we deserve. You know, it all breaks down to that, right? If there is conflict in your life and you don't know what to do about it, you don't know how to handle it, just walk away. Take some time. Breathe. Go see someone else's perspective and talk. Call your friend on the phone. Say, hey, this is what just happened to me. What do you think about it? Gather information. Use your 5 senses to bring you back down. A lot of times, our emotions get so heightened that we can't think clearly. Or the opposite. Some people resort to earthly things or worldly things like using or sex or drugs is using, right? Or, video games or coffee or whatever it is. They turn to those things as a result of having conflict somewhere else. But that's really not going to solve the problem. That just kills time. That's all it is, right? If you come into a situation where there is conflict, walk away. If you cannot literally physically walk away, mentally walk away. Tune it out. Take a deep breath. I'm sure anyone watching this has heard of deep breathing, right? It's simple. The concept is to just refocus your body and your emotions and your energy. Instead of all the negativity or the conflict that's going on around you, all you're doing is refocusing the energy that is in you. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. And it's just that simple. One of the ones that I like to use a lot is my 5 senses. See what I smell. Focus on something else. See what you can touch. See what the air tastes like. Doesn't really taste like much this morning, right? Because it's just air. All these different things you have control over. You need to be able to recognize this before you can even start to make life changes. There are a lot of different coping mechanisms. Some people like the game, where, in your head you say colors, and you start to list in your head all the different colors you can think of. Some people are more physical. Some people I know for a long time in high school, I would do the sign language with my fingers. I would just pick a word, E, F, G, and I would just do this with my fingers when I got stressed out sitting in class. It was physical. It was my way of having a little bit of control over the greater picture that was going on in class. We all struggle with these things, and It's just relearning a different skill, relearning a different tool, or relearning how you can start to have more control in your own life, because you cannot control other people's lives. What works for you guys? What do you do? What do you do when you are faced with conflict? I'd love to hear them, please. I haven't gotten much insight back from people. Is what I'm saying not making any sense at all? I don't know. Is what I'm saying relatable? Should I keep doing this? Should I not? I haven't got much feedback. Whether it's positive or negative. You know, I'm not asking for y'all to start bashing me, but let me know, please. Maybe you haven't even taken the time to get this far. It's been 15 minutes. I've been rambling now. I really gotta go. I'm really excited for today. I'm excited to just keep doing. And I'm excited to keep making a positive difference in the world. And baby steps. Just baby steps. And, you know, even though there is something you are starting to change in your life, not every day are you going to be great at it. But it's keeping in mind what your goal is. This is why I keep my goals right here. When you get distracted, when you get off target, just take a big deep breath and refocus. Come back to these. Come back to your goals. Come back to your why am I making these changes in the first place? That is the most important part, is why. All of these things all add up. There are different parts of our body, and they all help each other, and they all work together. Some people are born without some of these senses, and I don't know what that's like, but I would think that all their other senses are heightened as a result of missing one of the senses. That's like your life. If you were born without one of these things in your life, I bet all the rest of them are even harder to deal with because you are missing one of them. Or maybe all the rest of them work even better because you are missing one of your senses. It's all just how you look at it. It's all your perspective. Is the glass half full or is it half empty? It's exactly the same. It's in the middle. And the middle is where we need to be. And it's hard to get there. So give yourself some time. If you get distracted today and you don't reach for your goal, that's okay. But also, don't stay there. Don't just accept that you're going to fail. That's not an option. It's your life. Reach for what you want. Make the pasta. However it is you choose to eat your pasta, the first step is going to the store. That's what this is. So, go buy some pasta, people, or rice, or potatoes, or whatever it is you're going to cook for dinner tonight. And let me know. Let me know how it works out for you. Breathe. Thank you.